TYLOO, not a map they pick too often. They've just come in and went, we'll give you a chance, I guess. Like, we'll try to help you out. Do you know how to veto? Now,
They've lost it 3 times in a row. That is a bit of a weird choice, I'll be honest, for TYLOO. I do think that they just don't care.
2 possibilities. There are 2 distinct possibilities. Either we actually have got the veto backwards, which has happened before, so I'm a little bit suspect with the way that one went down, or TYLOO just, they just do not care. They're like, yeah, well, we're way better than you, so let's get a little bit of practice on our worst map, because there is no way we lose a series. I think if they lose a series versus after, they can probably just step down from the major anyways. What's the point in playing the major for one? They'll play 1 or 2 best of 3s and be knocked out, so you might as well just accept it now.
Yeah, well, to be fair, though, they'll have another 17 RMR events for redemption, so it's 1 out of 17 is not too bad.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is a map where you're gonna see somebody do things that make no sense and they're gonna work. That is pretty much his mantra within life. The interesting thing about the series they lost, it's another like 17-year-old wonder kid who just destroyed them with plus 27 in that match. So there seems to be some crazy young talent coming out from China at the moment, which is good, because the one thing that really worried me with Valorant was that, especially within Asia, that we would just lose all talent in Counter-Strike, because, well, there's a game that's just come out that has a lot of prospects behind it, especially within that region. Somebody, though, already going to be kicking things off. The first one goes his way. He will be traded out, but he's got slowly to support. Sat back on the site, and you can see them taking some fairly aggressive peeks, and they're still getting away with it. Attacker going to take a tag. And actually, this is starting to fall apart. It's left all onto Summer. 1 versus 2. Well, with just Bingo alive, low on HP, he's going to get the bomb down. Should it get away with anything? It's a little bit dicey, but in the end, Summer does enough.
Yeah, well done by Summer closing out that round. And that's probably the closest one we're going to see. Now when the rifles come out, I really fear for after. I think this is where they just get smacked around. I don't know if you've ever seen that video of the adult in like a play zone with all the cushiony stuff, and he just starts throwing it at the little kids, knocking them over. That's pretty much what I imagine this series to be for TYLOO.
I'm sort of imagining, you know that video that got edited like 1,000,000 times of that guy just walking around like slapping everyone in the garden? Have you seen that video?
No, I don't think so.
It's been edited like 1,000,000 times to say different things. That's what I'm imagining, basically. And there's loads of people going, you can't do that. It'll be that.
Well, slowly, he's come out, and he's died. He's died to Glocks. That's good. The guy's already picked him up. That's a good start for after. Look, you're going to try to do as much damage as you can in a run like this. Attacker's got 11 HP, and he's crouch walking across the window. If that doesn't say, I don't care about you, I don't know what does. They're just swinging out, looking for every single individual fight. The thing is, TYLOO are not playing Counter-Strike the right way at the moment, but as we said, this is how they play Counter-Strike, and it works. So you can't do anything about it. And I think obviously they're going to play looser in this series, especially on Mirage, than they would versus anyone else. Looser, exactly.
Oh god, the trousers will be around their ankles if they're any looser than they normally are. Dear lord,
be sliding down their stool. But considering the spot at I'm just checking HLTV, they seem to be confirming this veto choice of after. Going for Mirage. All right, cool. I was sort of hoping that we had it backwards, but
I guess the way you gotta look at it is they're playing to their strengths, which I can always respect that. I don't think there was ever going to be a map where we'd be like, oh yeah, they can win that one. So it is, like as said, there's the reason it's a golden rule is because like TYLOO for eons, pretty much since I've been around in Counter-Strike, I've been able to beat even the top teams on Mirage. I still remember Vici as well. It's the same thing. Like they beat Na'Vi. There was TYLOO, I think at one point beat SK, because I actually remember, or SK obviously, who became later MIBR. SK was when they were good. Yeah, I still remember the coach like and jokingly saying to him, oh, do whatever you do, just don't let Mirage get through. And he went, ha ha ha, and they did, and they lost. And I just laughed. I found it very funny. This round, though, we're going to see them make a play through the connector. Although this is the buy, although there's some weaknesses for the CT side, you'd be surprised as making this one look relatively easy. But Bingo has at least managed to bring things back. Oi as well, going to take a little bit of damage from his teammate. These rounds have been relatively close so far. If they could steal this one away, especially with how wide we're seeing the peaks come out from TYLOO, gonna end up in a 1v1 again. Somebody facing off against Bingo, who's already tagged down to 33 HP, even with the AK advantage versus the FAMAS. You can see the patience from somebody, which is not something I say too often. Interesting plant. Actually doesn't matter. I'm confused as what somebody's actually doing.
Yeah, Bingo is as well. He thinks at this point that somebody must be coming on the flank, that he's pushed through B apps and or short and come all the way up behind them. And, oh, he's stepping away. He's in the open. What is going on? So TYLOO were playing very loose. I appreciate that, but they're giving an opportunity to a team with Wang, we already know is solid, with Bingo, who's had some good performances too. Marek and Oi experienced as hell within this region. I'll end it there. And when you're somewhere that you can lose if you play like that. Now, the thing is, I believe there's going to be like an on switch. If they start losing enough rounds, they'll go, okay, guys, come. Guess we'll try.
Not this round.
Well, it could, they've got.
Wait, has Danking just dropped? I was about to say.
Okay, he's going to keep the op, right? So we have a force by somebody. Somebody? There's 10 seconds left, though, so it's okay. They're gonna...
Oh, yeah, somebody on an SMG is basically just like everybody else on a rifle.
I just thought they were gonna run out with pistols. And Summer? Okay. I thought they were just... Yeah, everyone else forced, but I'm gonna keep 2K. Why? I don't know. So, like, this is still a pretty scary buy considering the team you're up against. Good smoke down bottom mid early. Stops Danking getting anything with the op. That discredits what should have been a guaranteed opening kill had they not have thrown that smoke.
I do like how our expectations are so low that you just credited them throwing at the most basic smoke, probably
based
on, the
on what I saw yesterday, Tom. That is a massive improvement. They couldn't throw a flashbang, and then they couldn't realize not to push while flashed into players that aren't blind. So, you know, throwing a window smoke, I think they're now at the level of my matchmaking teammates, and I appreciate that. I think they're improving.
They've improved a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
In all fairness, this is a good starting performance by After. I think they're relying on individuals to lock down middle. You got Oi and Wang. They're the boys you want in this position. They're going to be... Oh, that peak, that timing is so good by Summer. He tags Oi, but he gets the info more importantly. So attacker's able to follow, and he just wide swings on them. The lack of respect is unbelievable, and they're being punished for it. Look at the wide swing by Danking as well. He misses the shot, and it's a 1v3 clutch with an SMG, but look at the HP bars. This could work out for somebody if he gets the chances, and he knows as a player in the close corner. He's pre-firing it.
Interested to see what he's gonna do here.
No, okay.
I think he's just getting a Galil. Not the greatest upgrade in the world, and he doesn't have a kit available to him, so I think he has to save now. There's not really anything he can do. He's actually still going to go for the fight, and he's done a hell of a lot of damage. As said, no way he can win the round from this point, but he could at least make things costly, and even that won't be the case. So, yeah, they've countered what was a pretty audacious force buy from TYLOO. Like, it's now completely screwed, and we're just going to see a small investment into a few pistols.
Seeing these kind of games always sort of angers me, seeing a team play that loose. Like, I'm in two minds about it, Tom. It's like, can I really criticize TYLOO at the moment? No. Like, they're playing stupidly, but they know that. Like, this is a game for them. They've probably woken up this morning and went, oh, do we have a game? Alright, yeah, okay. Went out partying last night, chilling. Well, hopefully not actually with COVID, but I doubt they're taking this very seriously. And obviously it's basically, the onus is on After to make them take it seriously. And at the point where they do, where they prove themselves to be a threatening opponent, that's where TYLOO just switch back on and they start wrecking.
That was appropriate timing. It's like it's down to Arthur to make them take it seriously as he jumps out through a smoke out of window onto his opponent's head with the P250.
Yeah, that'd be what I'm talking about.
Well, they've got a decent bank behind them. They've got an AWP for Wang as well, which that was actually one of the better things yesterday. I don't think he's a bad AWP, especially on train. He was getting an awful lot of openers, especially with the wall bang. So someone who's clearly put the time in. This is an interesting hold coming out from TYLOO. They got 3 players around connector, 1 watching into the palace, the other 2 peeking back in the other direction. It's actually the CT smoke. That's normally you throw that low so you can look over the top of it. By the looks of it, they've thrown it high, and I don't really know why. I'll be honest.
Maybe they expect after to push through it. I have no idea. As it fades, though, attackers got an angle onto these players on bottom mid. They're starting to... What is this? They're ready for it. They're waiting. They've taken down attacker. Close left is being cleared. 1 for Dan King. He's swinging out for a little bit more. Good damage. And Summer's able to trade. Now we're seeing TYLOO actually play off each other. And that is a scary thing. It's down to a 3 versus 2. Summer takes a fight by himself. Doesn't get a lot of damage off forward either. He's heavily lit up. This is going to be a pretty rough position, actually, if he goes down.
Oh.
It's essentially a 2v1 on the site. If that happens, rotate underway with the bomb in play. And
That's
for after, they've got everything. Oh no, Bingo, why? Why would you not wait for your teammate? You see, the thing is, these guys they're decent players individually. Like I've said it a million times, but the exception is Sakai. All 4 of these guys are strong individual players. It's the decision making. That's what just blows me away, is that the decision making is horrendous. Like, it's some of the worst team play I've seen in this region.
I think we do have to add the caveat, though, that to the best of our knowledge, at least, this is a mixed team.
Very new,
we've only seen them play the qualifier to enter this tournament. Like, that's their only tournament listing of anything. Now, obviously, the fact that they beat D13 was a big surprise. I know you guys were disappointed that they didn't manage to make it through. Yeah, I do wish that Bingo there just waited for his teammate, had a Molotov, could have tried to play, at least get a sort of, I guess a cleaner trade. Because technically they did get a trade, but that was just based off more individual brilliance from the last man standing.
I wouldn't call that a trade even. They just happened to kill that guy later on. It wasn't... It peaked like 10 seconds later. But, the thing for me with... regards to D13 is that Annihilation's a really fun opera to watch. Wang, I think, took up that mantle when we looked at Train yesterday versus Tiger. He was really solid. So I enjoyed watching that. Maybe he can be the Annihilation that we've wanted to see once the op comes out. Or once it comes out again. But I've never seen such an audacious team with, I could go on all day about it. It's just the fact that you have the individual skill, but it's basic things, like not swinging with a Zeus, wide swinging with it. In this position.
On in. Straight through the smoke. Dan King, though, holding the line, doing a fantastic job with the FAMAS. He's managed to get himself 4. In fact, he's going to ace the round. Easy peasy for Dan King. A FAMAS USP ace is not something I think you'll see too regularly, especially against a 4-buy. And while if anybody was worried for TYLOO, you can breathe a sigh of relief.
It's a nice little spray down for him, isn't it? Headshot as well on the last 2 kills. 4-3. TYLOO really just answering up now. Versus Pistols, Dan King. He's got the confidence.
That's a double ace.
He does, but unfortunately, he just gets Sakai doming him. I'd say Sakai's looking better than yesterday, certainly when it comes down to these plays, but I'll never trust this man. I'll need to see another 20 maps from him before I feel any sort of a trust in his ability to make the right call. in any position.
If he even buys a Zeus, I'm out.
This is just to be clear for anyone that sat here going, "What? This dude is 6 for 7 now versus TYLOO. What are you doing?" This man yesterday got flashed and then decided to push into 2 players that were holding him in Pop Dog while completely blind, like he could not see a thing, and he knew they weren't blind. And then we saw him in a 3 versus 1 take out a Zeus, and not only did he do that, he swung so he was as far as possible away from the player. Like, he wanted to Zeus him, but also he really respects social distancing. So he ended up not hitting the Zeus, dying, and they lost the 3v1 by 6 HP. So had he have just sneezed on him, it would have been a nice, easy round. So it was... And those are just 2 of the more impactful, horrendous decisions. There were plenty more. And when you do that in your opening series of a tournament versus one of the top teams, you make those kind of decisions, I don't like you. I'm not going to like you. And even if you play great the next 2 games, I'm still going to wait for you to go back to that form. So just in case you think we're being overly mean, the decision making was horrendous yesterday. So it's more like we already doubt this team massively.
TYLOO has no fear. That's something I think that's the same with the majority of TYLOO players. Like, if you believe they were created by some sort of higher being, they forgot to add fear to the mix, is the way that I would put it, at least. Re-peaking with only 16 HP, and he actually manages to get a 2nd kill. So, as said, like, as of right now, after definitely haven't made TYLOO respect them, and, well, slowly, again, just remember what I just said. 16 HP, he's just pushed mid. He has pushed all the way into mid. No fear at all. If there's anybody there, he'd be dead. But now he's going to be coming in on a flank, and you can see the rest of the team already rotating into position. You've got Attacker now holding in the sandwich. Not an easy position to clear. They do get rid of Danking. Are they going to check? Not quite, but luckily they get away with it anyway. That flank is still coming, by the way, but bomb's actually planted in a relatively safe position. It would only be Wang. He actually does wide peek out the angle, but it's not going to be him to find it. Slowly left with relatively low HP. Is he just going to try and defuse this? It looks like he is. He's just going to stick it. He's just holding it all the way down. It has to be the peak. Oh, he hears the step. He hears the tick of the Molotov. Now he's going to go for the kill. It should be very easy for Bingo. Okay. This is a very awkward fight. I think eventually Bingo will win it, and he will, but I'm surprised he didn't get that kill a little bit sooner.
I don't know what I just witnessed, but okay. Cool. He just kind of stood there and tanked the shots. Guess, like, I genuinely think that's a case of nerves. Like, he didn't want to swing. When you're in a clutch situation, I think it, for some players, it alleviates a lot of pressure, because it's like, oh, you're not supposed to win it. But then it gets to the 1v1 bomb planted, and you're like, you don't want to make a mistake. And sometimes, like a deer in headlights, it just kind of paralyzes you to what is the right play, like even just shooting back instead of just standing there and going, I don't care, bro. I don't care. Shoot me. It's a very nice Deagle skin. The Danking, he's going to look to... Oh, he's underneath him. 1 for him. But the swing around, the 180 doesn't quite connect. And so this should be, again, a nice, clean position for after. Putting it up 5-5, and the question remains: when are TYLOO going to start waking up and actually treating this like a game? Because, as I said, individually, this isn't that bad of a team. Like, when we're purely talking about firepower, it's not a bad team. You've got to put them in a position where they have to make decisions, and then they're terrible.
Yeah, I so far I feel like TYLOO are just trying to win this purely off like, okay, I'm gonna face this and see if I can kill multiple people at once. So it hasn't really been much team play whatsoever as of yet. Even still though, after I'm gonna manage to get to 5, I'll be honest, that's more than I was expecting. And while Bingo, he's got off to a flying start, 12-5 at the moment. Very good scoreline from him. There's a fair few players on the other side as well that are a little bit quiet in the early stages of the day. Attacker with 7 assists, which, you know, you've got to feel his pain in these sort of scenarios. And while realistically, TYLOO can't actually invest into this round. The thing is, like, somebody's a player that you're going to watch, like, do very aggressive things. I feel like on Mirage, the problem with that is that it's so scripted. Like, this map has been in the pool for so long that everybody knows every single piece of aggression you're going to be making. And, well, he's already dead. He tried to jump down into the underpass, and he is gone, Mitch.
It's not the kind of play you want, is it? It's not the it's not the strategy. And it just, at this point, you know, it's almost like TYLOO need an excuse to spend a little bit more time on the server. Because they're giving the opportunities away. And we do know TYLOO for very loose style. We know them for just rushing out and playing those things, but making those very aggressive fights that they probably shouldn't. The thing is, I feel like they play so well off each other generally, but at the moment, this is not a TYLOO that's giving respect to their opponents. Ranking. Oh, he's picked up the M4, but nothing for him, unfortunately. It's the lead for after. I'm very cynical. Very, very cynical, because I think TYLOO are going to just switch up and wreck them. Oh, and we have a little bit of
It would be
pause.
funny if it got to the point where they win and we're just like, no, they're gonna turn up. They're gonna turn up.
Yeah, it's the thing is, we've seen it so many times from TYLOO, especially in the early stages of the previous Oromore, where we'd be watching them and just going like, guys, are you gonna try or what? And then as soon as they're threatened, once their opponent gets some sort of a decent lead, you can see that, like, you can almost hear it on the team speak, just should we try, guys? Like, yeah, I think we probably should. Like, oh, okay.
So yeah, just a ping issue. So hopefully be able to get that sorted relatively soon. And Bingo is going to be back in the server. Still yet to see too much of a fallback coming out from TYLOO. Like, every single time their money's been kind of wrecked in a lot of these situations. Like, we've only had the AWP once or twice for danking. We've seen players consistently playing with a FAMAS as well. So this is not really been. Again, I don't think they're taking this particularly serious, because with just what they're investing into different things, like, they could have easily taken an extra save here or there if they wanted to try and make sure they had their full purchase. Even going into the T side, I think if they get 7 rounds here, it's still going to be a very, very rough game for after. And I'm intrigued by them going into Vertigo, because I'll be honest, like, this has been a map, at least versus Vici, where they've had some struggles, especially the 16-3 decimation during Cologne 2020, and also the loss to Lin Vision. I think that's the only real surprise. Like, okay, you lose to Vici in that map, that's not really the biggest deal. Vici are pretty good at Vertigo, but losing to Lin Vision is a completely different ball game. Maybe they're coming in to almost, like, as a point to prove, like, don't worry guys, we fixed everything on Vertigo, but we'll see. I'll be interested if Blair knows if they still have, like, multiple analysts, because that was something I always remembered with this TYLOO side, was they had a lot of people behind the scenes, at least when they used to play in, like, the more, like, European or the international tournaments, I guess you could say. There was always, like, multiple people prepping for them. So if they have got any issues that they needed to fix on Vertigo, which evidently they did, there's probably going to be someone finding it.
And we're better to test it out, really, than versus a team that you should be able to autopilot beat. This is a... okay. A run through the smoking con. I don't quite mind it, because there's a player spraying top mid, right? So he thought that he could get up underneath them, catch that guy off guard. Didn't expect the second guy to be in there. It's an acceptable loss. It's not one that I'll critique quite as much as previously. Great flash. Good peek by Bingo. Oyen with another. This is looking a whole lot better already by after. Other than that, they don't have the bomb. They've left it over towards T-spawn. So there's going to have to be a rotate to get that. Bingo wants to maintain aggressive control. He gets whacked by that nade. Giving away his position, he was stepping, I suppose, which kind of did that for him. The fact that he's low is known. Somebody had the confidence to just go into murder hole with a scout and headshot him. That is ridiculous.
That's the thing. This was a 2 versus 4 that came back to a 2 versus 2. We've seen this a few times now, where TYLOO get a big lead, everybody's peeking, wanting to pad those stats, and things can slip away, and Oy is in with a real chance, especially with the fact that somebody, at least for that moment, was facing the wrong way. He's now in the right position, though. And after a relatively quiet start, we are going to see somebody with an impactful double, to say the least. 6-6, still plenty of cash for after gaming. And as said, like, TYLOO have never really been able to build up a bank. Somebody's actually going to go back to the scout once again. So clearly feeling confident with that weapon. And again, we see this triple connector setup. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but in this case, you can see how it would work out, especially with them playing mid. That is just disgusting. How can you even have the audacity to go for that? This is what I mean when I say that he just had fear removed from his brain.
Yeah.
Like, there's no player in their right mind gonna go, I'm gonna jump through murder hole and headshot with a scout.
And to anybody that was thinking, you know, oh, maybe they are taking it seriously, like, are you sure they're not? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you'll ever see that in a game that anybody's taken seriously. Except maybe Sakai. He'd probably go for that. We're in a 4 versus 3, though. Those openings towards the A side have been solid. They've managed to get mid control as well, so the connector players are threatened. They want to get aggressive and push up. They've caught Wang pulling back, and he almost manages to catch the shot, but he's whiffed it. Attacker shuts him down. Somebody grabs one with a P250. Easy upgrade to an AK, and Bingo's coming out. He's going to have to find 3 more. It's like he's playing Bingo. Gonna find him in a row. And it looks like, for the moment, it's not lining up. Dan King just swings wide, takes the kill. And again, TYLOO back in the lead, 7-6. And they are just the better team. There's no question about it. Because you're seeing with this just insane decision-making that they're still able to dominate.
It's like you just see some of the positions where players on TYLOO die, and you're just like, why are you there? Like, why are you at the top of mid facing the wrong way? Or like some of the peaks they're just making. And I think they're definitely having a bit of fun with this. Wow, wait. Only like 10 seconds have gone, 2 people already dead. It's just a mid push, I guess. Dear Lord, they're looking to end this one as fast as possible. That might be some sort of record.
They've just gone barreling towards them. No quarter given. You know, from this point, I mean, I do feel like we're going to end up in this position where...
cheeks are going to get clapped?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to find a nicer way to say it, but that's more or less it. I'm trying to be nice.
It's not really a nice way to say I think they're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah. Like the T side of TYLOO is just gonna shred them. I've never had a game where I'm just like, this is over. It's like,
but that's
so
the thing. It's
over.
like it does just see, like, we know how TYLOO are in this region, and unfortunately for after, like, we know that when they need those rounds, they just flip a switch. Like as said, like some of the kills that somebody's been getting in this game, even though he's not playing that well, or like he's not doing that well statistically, are a joke. Like these peaks from slowly are just silly. Like let me try and face 2 guys at the top of mid from short every round. Like he just faced that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then their response to a man going down is to do the same thing again. Like, yeah. It's just madness.
What's happening here, I figured it out, is they've just went to TYLOO and said, hey guys, we want to up our branding. Can you guys like tweet out some frag clips? And so they're like, okay, cool, yeah, just do something cool. So they're, yeah, let me just swing here. Somebody's grabbed one. He's gonna just wide swing on them. Not gonna wait for his teammate to get in position. Oh, he is gonna wait. He flashes around. Doesn't swing on it either. He's playing for the info, but eventually out he goes while Dan King's still in the kitchen. Like, you could sit here, I, in a way, want to just sit here and be like, well, that's a stupid decision. And we could do that all day with what TYLOO are doing, because they're arguably making, no, they're definitely making worse choices than what After are. Like, I think this might be a bit confusing for people that maybe don't know TYLOO. They'd be like, well, these casters are critiquing After's decision making. But in this game, I think TYLOO's has been way worse, and I'd 100% agree with that. The reality is, though, After are not in a position where they can turn around and just flip a switch and become the best team in the region. TYLOO are, and they're still doing pretty well in a lot of these rounds. Like, my man's jumping in the window with a scout and headshotting people. They're literally just looking for frag movie clips now. Like, put it on YouTube.
Well, we now get into the T side. This is where we should see some running and gunning. Bingo with a nice start. And actually, they're doing quite well in these opening duels. Eventually, a couple of trades come back into the favor of TYLOO. And, well, oh, he spotted one. There's a second player. How? How did Slowly not die? He's literally sat in a crossfire of 2 different CT players and still manages to get away with his life and a couple of kills. Nice shot from Oi. And the bomb is going to be planted. And I like the reposition that's come in from Attacker. Clearing his angle is going to be very difficult from this point onwards. And he won't even need to, as Dan King is going to win the pistol for TYLOO. Both pistols won on their opponent's map choice, although it is the best map. They're like, this is like the greatest hits of TYLOO. Like, they have played 21 maps of Mirage with an 81% win rate. And, well, they've got two losses to Vici, 1 loss to Invictus, and then obviously that weird match versus Lim Vision, which we still don't really understand what happened there. Like, they lost 16-4 on that, by the way. Maybe they just played how they were here and they got punished.
Just didn't stop.
Yeah, into the second map as well. I would love that. I might have to go back and watch that. Just like, we lost the first map, but we can still screw around.
Yeah, we can still mess about.
That's the only thing that's a real negative, is that when, like, that's my level of thinking, is that, TYLOO lost. They must have been pissing about. Like, there's like, rather than actually giving credit over to their opposition, which is a shame. But like, this team's been so dominant within the region. It's sort of like looking at Renegades. It's like they've won so many series. Like, if they lose, you go, oh, what went wrong for Renegades, rather than what went right for the other team.
Well, if they lost this map, I think we could definitely point out a couple of things that have gone wrong for TYLOO. For example, just here, you're against a weak buy. You send 1 player to short who just wide swings and looks for kills. Slowly found 2, but that is a bad call, 100%. I don't think a round has gone by where TYLOO haven't made a fundamentally wrong choice. But they're going up 10-7. They're winning this game for the moment. I mean, you look at After, I mean, there are definitely positives. Bingo's having a really good game himself. Even just the fact that they're punishing the individual mistakes by TYLOO is definitely a positive. Like, again, it speaks to what we already know, that this team has got potential. After definitely do. Maybe they just need time, like that teething period, right? It just... No, Maybe they do. At the same time, there's a certain level that you expect from players individually. As I said yesterday, I mean, the point that I made that sticks with me is that I have genuinely seen rank S pugs that looked more coordinated than what we saw yesterday from After. Maybe that was a hiccup. Maybe they weren't coming in fully focused. First game of the day, the tournament, nerves, whatever you want to say. But I've seen rank S pugs with better coordination, so I need to see these guys really lean into something better.
Well, Dan King at least seems to be having fun. Now we get to see the buy. So there is going to be an AWP juggled around to Wang. Hasn't really had the same performance as we saw, although he is now going onto the CT side AWP, so we can expect a little bit more from him here. The rough thing is I wouldn't like to be an AWPer versus TYLOO, because although you're going to get lots of opportunities to find picks because they're insane, the chances are they're also going to running headshot you while blind and throw smoke. So optimism, not really here. It looks like they're just going to go for a B rush. They're set up. There's some counter utility being expended. They've already cleared off edge of the little balcony, and well, they're just patiently waiting. Oi set up with a smoke to try and section things off if they do go pushing, and Marek might be about to try and get a little bit aggressive into mid, but here comes the full execution. A set strategy already. Marek is going to start things off onto somebody. He only had a Mac 10. It's the rest of the team that they need to worry about, as all the rifles still in play. Slowly just insta-domes one. Marek is still alive in this site, and they don't seem to care. Eventually, Dan King puts him down, and this is somewhat what we were worried about. Like, they walked into that site like they owned it.
I really wanted to see Oi push back up and take the balk position. That's one hell of a shot by Slowly. He's just
That's exactly what I was talking about. I was like, I wouldn't like to be an Orpa versus TYLOO. What do you do there? He running headshot you through a wall. Like, it doesn't matter how fast your reactions are. I don't even think Henny could have hit that shot.
Oh, it's a guy. It's a free kill. There's one. No, he's not getting the second. Attackers too quick on the trade. Doesn't even go down to the bomb. 12-7. Starting to clock up these rounds now. TYLOO, as we said, you know, they look a lot better on the attacking side, the T side, where they can just really set the pace themselves. Let's see this run and headshot. There's the shutdown by Dan King. Oh,
that is dirty. Yeah, this is what we mean though. Like when they turn it on, when they get the money behind them, I don't think there's much that could be done. Sakai, wow. Okay, and yeah, back to reality. Marek has found another. They're looking very good with these pistols. Dan King, I hate to break it to you, bud, we're on the wrong side of the map.
B's clear, guys. Rotate B.
Oh, guys, bring bomb B. Be clear. I hate teammates who do that. Like, well, when you're like on A with the bomb, they're like, guys, be clear. It's like, it doesn't matter. Rotate. Do something.
It was an ambitious round to go for a flank play as well, considering that they only had pistols. Again, I really don't think TYLOO were thinking at the moment, but it's showing and they're being punished. It might get to a point where they have to switch on the brains.
He could legitimately... he's going to have to make sound. He can just take the bomb.
Go B.
Oh, the timing. That actually could have worked, though. If he throws that Molotov a second earlier, he can just run towards the B side. Now, there is a player in jungle, but... I don't know. That was weird. I thought they'd have more of a crossfire onto the bomb. Obviously, in this scenario, that's a nice boost of economy for the CT side, but there is still going to be a buy. And yeah, again, but like as we talked about, like the individual skill is definitely there. Not quite sure why Dan King was so far, but it's a weird one with them rushing into the site. Maybe they expected a little bit more to be invested in that round, but kind of want to just group up together. Dan King gonna go and try and rectify things. He looked to try an entry into the B site, and well, with the aggressive play on short, they do kind of only have one player within the site, but very quickly going to rotate things back. This is much more of a slower default coming out from TYLOO.
A nade has legitimately landed on Dan King's genitalia. He's gone. 41 HP. Start of the round. Not what you want to see. At least it's the opera though. Shouldn't hamper the duels too much. Now for after, you saw a little bit of a rotate towards the B side for a second, but Wang's decided he wants to go A instead after conceding at the mid control. And look at a 3-man stack on the A site. Very long rotates if they want to go towards B, but TYLOO were holding. They're thinking that after going to get aggressive, and for now, considering the positions they're in, that is just not going to happen.
A whole lot of time left for them to make their moves. 30 seconds up and coming on the clock. 3-man B stack. Interesting.
And the smoke setup by TYLOO blocking off connector caused it. I mean, Wang is just, he's getting his cardio in. He ran to Round to B, round to CT, round to B. He's now on his way back to CT. The marathon complete. He's going to look for some victims.
Take a risk through the smoke. Wang has managed to get the kill. Spam coming through, and the bomb just about goes down. No real chance here, surely, as somebody now the only one remaining. There's a player in top mid, for God's sake. Shouldn't have a chance in hell. Nice round from after. They get those initial picks, and then they just hold on to them, burning down the clock. And I think TYLOO would probably try and pick up the pace a little bit in this round. You don't want to have those sort of rushed executes going into the site. Even though the smokes weren't bad, it just got to the point where they were reliant on basically nobody dying during that take.
They were also very predictable. They tried to play like a high IQ game, but it was a smoke setup to go to B. They wait, they wait, they wait. Smokes fade. And then they go towards the A site. It's like, you could see Wang had the read. He's been tagged up in mid, though, again, having to concede control early. Moving to CT straight away. Flash through smoke. Somebody's full blind. The peak came up behind him. Bingo just rubbed backs with him. They've actually shared dandruff.
Ugh. Perks of being bald. Here we go. A palace rush. Sakai again. He seems to be the multi-frag king when it comes to sitting on this site, and they really are starting to force TYLOO into a position where they almost look like they're making the comeback. Slowly, a bomb plant here would pretty much gain them a bye for the next round, and now it's whether or not they can clutch things out, and the answer is no. Double digits. Again, this is a lot more than I was expecting from after. I do think that when it comes to a map like Mirage, though, like fundamentally, it's a lot easier, I guess you could say, to play this map than the likes of Inferno, which we saw yesterday, where rotations are much more important. Synergy is also much more important. They've actually got to the point where TYLOO are taking a tactical pause. What universe are we in, Mitch? And how do I get out of here?
How do I escape? That's an odd one, isn't it? You really do not see this every day. Going in for the attack, having the conversations around what they want to do here. At 12-10, I mean, finally given a bit of respect. You could see it in the previous round, though, the fact that they went for that smoke play, that they started trying to outbrain their opponents. That's an element that certainly hasn't come into play so far. But after shut them down. And that was honestly, that was the first round win that I'll genuinely give props to after. Like, they wrecked in that round. And there's no excuse for TYLOO. They weren't playing super loose. They were actually trying.
Some are going to be onto the SG. I sort of mentioned it yesterday. A lot of the time, the SG is the gun that people are buying if they can't afford an AWP. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how I actually utilize it. It can definitely work for getting entries into the backside of the A site. And he's actually going to be within the palace. So potentially just looking to try and clear some of the players out of jungle so that we can see this push through the connector. May not be needed, though. Slowly's been incredible this game. Like, though we talk about plenty of other players within this roster, like somebody being the main man and danking as well with the AWP, but Slowly is just destroying them. Like, well, whenever he's wanted around, it seems like he's been able to take it. Wang trying to slowly rotate in, and Sakai at the back of the site. As said, he's been very good so far. But they're slowly. He's just waltzed his way through. Nice trades eventually come back in, but the bomb is going to be planted just about. And well, Summer has found one. It's left onto Attacker to try and clutch things. I'm not sure what went wrong there for TYLOO. A 3 versus 5, just quickly diminishing. And yeah, they are not looking good. Like, as said, like, slowly has been the sort of saving grace for them here with 25 kills. And they are barely winning this match now. He's going to have to 40 bomb for them to win.
Seems about right, yeah.
The Ronin Mark II.
Yeah, Ronin was unreal. But here we go. Coming into round 24. You look at TYLOO's full buy. This is a round they need to win, because I think it's starting to get a little bit dicey, a little bit scary at this point. You know, you treat a game like it's already yours. really you just open the door for something like this to happen. Where now, after have chained together those last 2 rounds and they're looking good, they're feeling like they've got an actual chance at this, and then Sakai gets completely caught off on the site. No support because of the smokes, but bingo! Straight through it catches Dan King. That's massive. Oh my god, Wang's coming in with another. This is it now. It's a 3 versus 4. Attacker tries to make a play, gets shut down, and TYLOO are scratching their heads. They're behind in a 2v4.
Again, it just seems to be in these mid rounds that they manage to just turn everything around with some individual plays. Like Bingo, again, like he's been performing. Nice shot from Summer, though. We'll be able to get one through the smoke. The peak actually threw it, and they're just going to run in. I guess they heard the bomb tapped and just believed that they were sticking it. This scoreline's equalized. I can't believe what I'm witnessing.
Nothing in the last 3 rounds that I can take away from after. Absolutely nothing. You know, I'm happy to sit here and say how absolutely horrendous this team was yesterday, but they're delivering now. And we got to be fair, Tom. In a way, TYLOO kind of deserve it just because they came in playing so loose. I really hate when teams do that because it's just that lack of respect. You're better off. The best thing that I've heard was by Thorin on this kind of topic. And he said that if you practice sloppily and like a moron, to paraphrase, you're going to play sloppily and like a moron. And when you do that in a game like this, you're practicing bad habits.
Oh, it's buy after buy after buy. TYLOO. There is another level. They might need to hit it. As I said, last few rounds, it's basically just been slowly. Everyone else has sort of gone a little bit quiet. Somebody is having a rough game. Attacker as well has not been particularly impressive, although he has been getting a hell of a lot of assists. By the looks of it, they're just going to barrel into the B site, and it seems like they're prepared for this. Wang is going to be peeking up with the AWP, but he whiffs. That could be a problem, as now they're going to start the execution. There's still a couple of players here. They're not actually going to be checking the angle. Oi did shoot a bullet, but because he didn't get the kill, I don't know if they'll actually check for this. Attacker's going to go walking in. Now, he was the low player, so it's not an issue, but Oi manages to double up. Leaves it into a 2v2 situation. Probably one of the better ones we've seen from them. And I think they're almost getting a little bit scared of planting the bomb, as every time they seem to do it, the round slips away.
Well, they've got it down at least. Now the question is it going to slip away again? Summer taking the long-range fight. Slowly was there to support. The Molly cuts off Sakai this whole time, but he gets in with one, looking for Summer towards the back of the bomb site. He has an idea. The nade goes deep, not deep enough, and Summer's able to connect the headshot. That is a 13-12. TYLOO just about keeping that lead, but they're under threat. I mean, these rounds are coming very, very close. And whilst in that first half, I will say that I really don't think After deserved many or any of those rounds. In this one, they are fighting for it and they're delivering.
But that's the thing. You have to consider right now that, TYLOO won both pistols, right? They deserve to lose this game.
100%.
They deserve to lose it. Like, I don't think there's any other way to look at it. Like, yeah, they had a 2-0 start and then a 4-0 start in the second half. So, and they're only just scraping through the lead, and the buy rounds after have been the better squad. And I want to put that down to partially in after plant positions. TYLOO have been horrific. They've been over-peaking everything, taking battles that are unnecessary. And now they're having to come in with some SMGs. And the reads so far from the CTs have been solid. Wang is going to be in position again. They're going to throw out some utility, but they've taken the majority of the damage. Nice flashbang for Sakai, although, as always, he seems to peek into them, and he's going to be caught because of it. Somebody has somehow, of course, got a double kill with the MAC-10. And this is actually looking like one of the better rounds, if anything, for TYLOO, as they're going to have a man advantage potentially going into their after plant, although they haven't planted the bomb. They're falling back with it.
This has got to be scary. If you're After and you just sat down, you're waiting for a move to be made. Eventually, Wang goes forward. He's pulling into this angle. It was being watched. They must have seen him cross over to ticket now. And there's the swing, the kill, good info communicated over. Danking able to capitalize. Bingo, good for one. But how much more can he get connected? Oh, Oi is here. He's shutting them down from further back. That's a real opening for them into this round now. 10 seconds left as the plant comes in. Bingo uses this to get over towards the stairs. He's now in position, but just a distraction as Oi comes up behind and closes this round out. 13 on the board for After. 3v4, 1 out. And again, a round where I can't say that TYLOO made it all too easy. This is just After really delivering. We're seeing the individuals show up. Maybe Mirage wasn't such a bad pick after all. Now, I want to say that if TYLOO had taken their CT side a little bit more seriously, this game would be over by now. But the fact that they're now trying and they can't get access into this, that's now going to start to weigh on their mental a little bit.
At the same time, this was a 2 versus 4 where they all peaked. I just don't understand. Like, you have the site. Sure, you don't have the connector. But if you get the bomb down and have a couple of players sit back, hold off the plants, you win that round easy. Instead, 2 people peek connector and jungle at different times, and then another player, like, it just... I don't know what they're doing half of the time. And it's like, sure, After doing very well in these clutch situations, but I don't even want to know how many 2v4s or like 3v4s that TYLOO have just thrown away by somebody making a really, not somebody in particular, but he is one of the culprits, making a silly decision just to be like, I'm going to be the hero. It's like, well, you don't need it. You're already winning the round. Like, somebody in that round got a double kill with a MAC-10 to entry and they still lose. Like, how?
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Just one of those things. Not much you can do, is there? Well, oh, another kill as just Connector gets ripped open. Bingo losing control of it. Bomb still towards top mid. Needs to be retrieved, and that's Summer's job. He's sent on the run from ramp. Conceding the control as Dan King just pokes out a little bit wider. He's going to look into CT, and he catches Wang. Just watching straight over to Connector. Sideswipes him completely.
If they lose this round,
though,
they're done.
Oi is showing up. Oi's delivering. And they're on their way towards the A side. They should be able to get the plant down. It's only Sakai to deal with, and he's pulled off CT. Somebody really being the thorn in the side. Locking down the window, and Connector rotates.
I want to mention just now, just in case it happens, this was a 5-on-2. So this is a situation that should be unlosable for TYLOO. Somebody, he's gonna go. He's running towards jungle. I guess he's trying to cover it off. And okay, this time it works for them. I'm not saying I agree with the decision at all, because again, you're in a 5v2. It goes 3v2, and you go, I think I should face jungle. No! Just win the round, please. Please. Luckily, if they win this one, After Gaming's money is absolutely wrecked. Like, they're already in the dirt here with Marek having to play on a Deagle and then a Scout coming out as well. It looks like we're just going to fall back into the more standard executes. Now, I do believe that even though TYLOO haven't played amazing, I don't think they've gone too deep into their strat book. A few nice executions. They've been testing like a few different nade setups, a few different positions. And they've been getting a lot of entries. It's just after plants. Like, they just don't seem to be taking it seriously. Sakai, again, he's been very good on this A side. This time with the Scout, trying to do a little bit more, but he's not going to be able to survive that one. Somebody seems to have stepped up over the last few rounds. A few Molotovs trying to clear the angles. Bomb yet to make it to the site again. Now the smokes have faded. It's going to be planted in a relatively open position. But again, like, these are the positions I'm talking about. Like, they're still facing in all of the after plants. And they've lost a man because of it. They're taking so many unnecessary risks to try and get themselves through these rounds. Flank coming in from Marek, but thankfully Dan King is going to find the kill. Bingo looking for a little bit more. He's very low on HP. But again, look, there's going to be a face. They're mad. They're insane. They're just fighting everything. Mitch, why are they fighting everything?
I don't know. I wish I could give you an answer.
How did they win playing like this?
Well, look, they're the giants of the region. They can do whatever the hell they want. And this game has been very, very close. Big props to After on their CT side. I think they're going to be very happy with the scoreline they've been able to walk away with for sure. Again, TYLOO have given them every opportunity. And you know what, we talked the whole time about, well, eventually TYLOO are just going to treat it seriously, right? I don't think that's happened yet. Not entirely. We saw elements of it, definitely. A couple of rounds where they did play much tighter. But in general, this has been the same strategy, the same crazy loose play that just is working for them now. That's the only difference.
The thing is, it's like, the way I look at this, right, is they start the round, they have a plan. They execute the plan, and the second the execution and the bomb is down, all hell breaks loose, and everybody forgets how to play Counter-Strike. It is insane. Like, I can't condone the victory they've just had, and this is the thing. We've now witnessed every single team that we expected to dominate not